It appears as though we're live. Is that correct, Emily?
Yes, it is now live on YouTube.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We are meeting today as the Committee of Adjustment special meeting before our regular council meeting, and our start time is 12:32 p.m. I would turn to staff, please, and ask for the explanation of process of the hearing today.
Thank you, Chairman Jip. So the procedures for today's meeting is that the chair will announce the meeting is in session, of course, and it is to hold public hearings for minor variance and or consents. And today we're dealing with 2 minor variances. The chair will announce the application, and myself, the municipal clerk, will provide a synopsis of the planning report. And the report has been posted to the agenda, which is live and on the website for anyone to take a look at the agenda and the reports attached. The floor will then be open to the public. Please make yourself known. Please provide your name and your municipal address. The chair will call for those persons in support of the application, those persons in opposition, and those persons seeking clarification, and then he will turn to the applicant. All persons wishing to speak to the application again must address their comments or questions to Chairman Jib, and that we can just again make sure that we do have your name and your address. Members of the committee will then make their comments or ask questions of clarification. And then the Committee of Adjustment may make a decision on the application and provide reasons for the decisions, and impact of public input will be provided by the committee members. Those persons requesting a notice of decision must do so in writing to myself or file, and then make sure you're signed. Oh, nope. That does apply. Some of these things apply to when we're in person. So anyway, just if you're wanting a notice of decision, you can send me an email, and we will make sure that you get one. Chairman Jib? You're on mute, Chairman Jib.
Thank you, Kate. Forgive me, but are we seeing member Pat McCourt with us today? Presently not on my screen.
Chairman Jib, it's Emily Cartledge. I have not received any word from committee member McCourt, but I have sent her a link to the live meeting. Hopefully she's able to join us shortly.
Thank you. I think we should make a note that she's not here at this part of the meeting, and then make a subsequent note when she does arrive in with us. Emily, if you would, please. The next order of business would be the confirmation of the agenda. It has been circulated. Could I entertain a motion, please? Moved by Larry, seconded by Bill. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, I would ask for a vote of support, please. Thank you. That is passed, Emily. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof from the members present? Seeing none, that shall be recorded. There are no minutes available, and therefore there is no business arriving from the minutes. So we will be moving on to new business, which, as our staff have indicated, we do have 2 minor variances today to look at. And the first application is A08-21. And it is an application, Kate, for variance, if you would, please.
Certainly. So this is for A08-21, located in Gore's Landing on Walden Road. And the notice of public meeting was circulated on June 3rd, and the signs were posted on the property on June the 7th. The applicant is seeking relief from the following sections of the zoning bylaw. Now, when we circulated the application, it was brought to our attention some of the numbers might not be exactly correct. So we did a further review this morning, and I'm going to read you a revised section. And we did consult with the applicant on this as well. So the first variance is from section 5.25.3 to permit a new detached accessory building to be 1,035.82 square feet, which represents 78.70% size of the principal building. The application that was circulated noted a building of 1,008 square feet with a percentage of 76.60. So we have an increase in the size of the garage. And but the second provision they're asking for was the height, section 13.3 CV, to permit a building height of 4.6 meters for an accessory building not attached to the principal building, where a maximum of 4.5 meters is permitted. We had a difference with the building size. The applicant had basically rounded out the figures on his application drawings, but there was actually a base drawing from their designer that showed the correct dimensions of the footprint of the structure, of the concrete base of the structure, and that's what causes the revision. So just continuing on with the application, their applicant's reasons for not complying with the bylaw is that he requires a larger outbuilding for adequate storage of his tools, lawn equipment, accommodate service work on his personal owned vehicles, and the increased height of the building is required to accommodate a car hoist. The existing uses of his property is residential, and in his area, there are agricultural and residential uses. The provincial policy statement, the proposed detached accessory building appears to be consistent with the provincial policy statement. The official plan, the detached accessory building is in keeping with the permitted uses and intent of the rural settlement designation. The zoning bylaw, the subject site is split urban residential first density and Oak Ridge's marine environmental along the property's road frontage. Accessory buildings are permitted. And again, that section 5.253 of the bylaw requires the gross floor area of any accessory building or structure in any residential zone not to exceed 50% of the gross floor area of the principal building. And in this particular case, his square footage is 1,035.82 square feet, which represents 78.70% of the principal building's gross floor area. The lot area of the subject property and the proposed yard setbacks are appropriate to support the building area of the accessory building as proposed. And then again, section 3.13 CV is permitting a maximum building height of an accessory building of 4.5 meters. And again, that's to accommodate his personal lawn equipment and such items and a car hoist. Also, just to note, the existing lot does not comply with the minimum lot frontage of 150 feet of the urban residential first density zone. The existing lot frontage will be maintained as legal non-complying, and the existing frontage has no impact on the proposed accessory building or variances being sought. The agency comments we received comments from the Building Department, the Conservation Authority, and the County of Northumberland. None of the comments are impacted by the change in the percentage of the dwelling unit, the 78.7%. The building department had no objection. Conservation Authority note that they have no objection to the minor variance. A permit from the authority will not be required for the construction proposed. The county also have no objection with the proposed variance. They reviewed the sketch. The location of the proposed garage would not impact the sewage system, and no plumbing or additional sewage loads are proposed with the construction of the garage. Planning Department supports the increase in the gross floor area and height of the detached accessory building. The committee must satisfy itself that the 4 tests of a minor variance are met prior to granting the relief from each item. Is the relief minor in nature? Does it maintain the general intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw, the general intent and purpose of the official plan? And is it desirable for the appropriate development and use of the land? Back to you, Chairman Gibb.
Thank you, Kate. Before we move forward to the audience, could you just confirm, or maybe Connie in the background could confirm what the square footage of the house is that was used in the calculation to get the 78.7%? Because I have in my notes that what was in the original report and what is on the sketch are 2 different numbers.
I can clarify that for you, Chairman Gibb. The house, we used 28 by 49. However, in reviewing the drawings, in reviewing the square footage that the applicant provided, we took the 49, it looks like a 9, but actually it is a 7. And then I compared it with another area where he has 171 feet. He kind of curves his 7 and it made it look like a 9. So that was our error in kind of looking at that and saying, oh, there's an error in the square footage, but actually what the applicant submitted was correct.
So the square footage in the house is in fact 1316?
Yes, 28 by 47.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Moving back to the audience, is there any one present in support of the application? And I do need my fellow committee members and staff to help me here because I don't have a full screen of people, I don't believe.
The applicant is present at the meeting.
Thank you. And I can't see that from where I am here. Is there anyone else in support of the application?
I'm
Is there
sorry.
any-
I'm sorry. I'm the applicant, but I guess it goes without saying that I'm in support of it, if that means anything.
Yes, we will acknowledge that, and we will be back to you in a moment for any comments or answers or questions you wish to provide.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here in opposition to the application? Seeing and hearing none, is there anyone here seeking clarification on the application? Seeing none, we will come back to the applicant and provide you an opportunity to add to your application or clarify or provide any comments you wish. Or we could move to the committee members if you so wish and just answer any questions they might have.
Yeah, no, I think everything's pretty straightforward, considering what Emily was saying, why I want the shop and all. So I'm okay to move forward.
Thank you. Committee members, any questions or comments from the committee members? Seeing none, I simply have one to the applicant. There have been occasions where we have had hoists put into buildings and they became businesses. that is not your intent. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's for personal use only.
Thank you. I see committee member Pat McCourt coming on the screen. I believe that was at 12:45. Could we document her being present at that time, please?
Thank you. My apologies.
We're in a position where, Pat, committee members were asking questions or providing comment. Would you like an opportunity to do that? Thank you, Pat. I'd like to entertain a motion then, please, from committee members. Mark,
I'll make a motion to approve the application as amended.
thank you. Seconder, Larry. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion to approve as amended? Thank you. Carried. I believe our staff, Kate, will want reasoning for your decision. Move to Mark, if you would, please, and then to Larry.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I may have did something in here because I voted to accept the motion. I didn't hear the amendment to the motion.
Kate, would you like to provide that to our member Pat McCourt, or would it be easiest in essence of time to just move forward with Pat not being part of this vote?
Okay, I could just repeat what the applicant asked for was there was a slight amendment to it. We had a change in the calculation of the proposed structure. So actually the variance he's asking for 78.70% of the principal building for his accessory structure versus 50% that's permitted under the bylaw, and a building height of 4.6 meters, where the maximum is 4.5.
It was just an adjustment to size.
It was adjustment, yeah, to the 78.70%.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
Increase. Yeah.
I'm fine with my vote being in.
Thank you, Pat. Just for clarity, I believe all members voted. Could we just have a show of hands again for clarification? Thank you, passed. Now getting back to the mover and the seconder for reasoning, please.
Yeah, it meets the 4 tests and the agency reports were all favorable. And there really was no public input that was negative to the application.
Thank you. Larry, would you like to add anything? Thank you. Is that sufficient, Kate?
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move on to our second minor variance, which is on Scenery Road. It's application 10-21, and it's also for a minor variance for an exterior side yard. Kate, if you would, please.
Yep. Okay, so application A1021, and this is vacant land on Scenery Road. The notice of the public meeting was circulated on June the 4th. The signs were posted on the property on June the 8th. The applicant is seeking relief from the marginal agricultural zone to permit the construction of a single detached dwelling. Section 7.3B4 to permit a reduced exterior side yard setback of 11.32 meters or 37.14 feet, where a minimum of 20 meters is required. And the applicant's reason for not complying is that the lot configuration and topography to accommodate the proposed dwelling and garage at the top of the property and ensure that minimal tree removal occurs, the proposed dwelling needs to be located closer to the exterior side property line. And that exterior side property line runs along highway or County Road 28. Existing use of subject lands, they're vacant currently, and the existing uses of abutting properties are residential and agricultural. The provincial policy statement, has been reviewed, and the proposed single detached dwelling is consistent with the provincial policy statement. The official plan, the proposed single detached dwelling is proposed to be located within the rural designation of the subject site, and the proposed single detached dwelling is in keeping with the permitted uses of these land use designations. Just to recap is that the property is designated rural and natural core area of the Oak Ridges Moraine. On Schedule A of the land use of the township's official plan, 6.1 of the OP provides permitted uses of the rural designation, including limited residential uses and uses intended to be used for limited low-density residential development. So again, it appears to be in keeping with those permitted uses. The southern portion of the site is identified as containing a key natural heritage feature, which is significant woodland, and as well, the identified as a landform conservation area, category 1. The section 9.52 of the township's official plan provides guidance for lands designated as key natural heritage features and directs review of the relevant sections of the Oak Ridges Moraine Conservation Plan. Section 21 through 23 are relevant and have been reviewed. Section 22 sub 3 indicates that application for development with respect to land within the minimum area of influence that relates to a key natural heritage feature, but outside the key natural heritage feature itself and the related minimum vegetation protection zone shall be accompanied by a natural heritage evaluation under section 23. The building area of the single detached dwelling is located outside of that key natural heritage feature, but the building area is located within 120 meters of the area of influence. The Conservation Authority have reviewed the application and submitted their comments, which I'll read to you later. And well, actually, their comments are just basically saying a permit may be required from the GRCA for any filling, grading, or construction works. However, the GRCA indicate they have previously reviewed information pertaining to the natural heritage features and determined the location of the house is satisfactory. The GRCA comments a natural heritage evaluation is not required. So even though it is located within the 120 meter area of influence, the natural heritage evaluation is not required. The zoning bylaw, again, it's zoned Oak Ridges Moraine Environmental, Marginal Agriculture, a single detached dwelling is permitted. The bylaw requires a minimum exterior side yard setback of 20 meters. The applicant is proposing an exterior side yard setback of 11.32 meters. The proposed single detached dwelling and variance are keeping within the intent of the provisions of the bylaw. Agency comments. Township of Hamilton Building Department had no objection. Conservation Authority, again, stating a permit may be required for filling, grading, or construction works. The southern portion of the property is traversed by identified water course, and any alterations requires a permit from the GRCA. Our concerns for new construction would include maintaining setbacks to address channel, bank erosion, sediment control during construction, no negative impact to the regulatory storm floodplain, and to ensure no degradation to water quality. I did reach out to the building department, and that we received a copy of a setback permit issued by the county transportation department. It was issued April 14th, and it is permitting a setback of 32 meters. The public comment. So as you know, previously, the reason we have the special meeting is because staff made an error in circulating 2 minor variance applications. So we did receive some initial comments back from Mr. Philman and a Mr. Johnston that they received the incorrect circulations. Mr. Philman has submitted a comment dated June 14th. He has no issue with the variation on face. In fact, I support moving the construction toward the highway to avoid the loss of any more trees in the Oak Ridges Moraine. However, the site drawing shows the residence and garage will cover the majority of width of the property at that location. When the site alteration was done in 2020, there was a berm constructed at the highway side. In the spring, most of the runoff travels this property from the west and down to the creek. Will there be consideration for the flow of the surface water in the site plan before the permit is finalized? My concern is that if the water is directed from the road side to the other side, it will be directed more to my property, and my well is in that corner and could be contaminated from the water as a result. The amount of water in the spring is substantial because of the hill and the farm to the west. Additionally, when the site alteration was completed in 2020, all of the trees that were clear cut from the property were buried in 3 locations: under the current driveway, where the proposed septic is drawn in, and along the highway where the application to reduce the distance from the highway is noted. Given that this was fairly recent and the ground has not been given time to settle and the trees would not yet be rotting, this could cause sinkholes. Could this cause issues with the structural integrity of the residents and the septic? I brought this to the attention of Mr. Anderson and Mr. Tim Geronimus at the time that the trees were being buried. I will include pictures below as well, as we were under lockdown at the time, and I can say with certainty none of the trees were trucked out or burned. I sent this correspondence to the building department, so they would be aware when a site plan is being reviewed, they would be aware of these comments. So the commenting agencies offered no objection. The public comment noted there was no issue to the request for the variance, however, did note drainage concerns and trees buried on the site. The planning department supports the reduced exterior side yard setback of the proposed single detached dwelling. And again, the committee must satisfy itself that the 4 tests of the minor variance had been met prior to granting the relief for each item. Is the relief minor in nature? Does the proposal maintain the general intent and purpose of both the zoning bylaw and the official plan? And is it desirable for the appropriate development and use of the land? To you, Chairman Jibb. You're on mute, Chairman Jibb.
Sorry, I'm worse today than usual. We acknowledge that our applicants are with us today, and we shall be back to them in a moment after we review the gallery. Is there anyone here in support of the application above and beyond our applicants? Seeing and hearing none, is there anyone here in opposition to the application? Seeing and hearing none, is there anyone here seeking clarification to the application? Again, seeing and hearing no one, I will come back to the applicants, provide them an opportunity to provide comment, any additional information that they may wish, or they may choose to just answer questions from the committee members. So if I were to come to the applicants, please.
Hi there. No, I didn't have any other questions or anything in regards. I'll just go for questions from you guys if you have any. Thank you.
Moving to committee members, are there any questions? It would appear as though I'm the only one that has a question for you. Considering this is a vacant lot and it's a new house design, why did you not choose a house style and design that would comply with the regulations without the necessity of a variance?
The design of the home had been something that we'd wanted to build for some time. And that property, the location and the views that we capture from that area fit that. I know it may not sound that it fits the property, but in our eyes it does. And it was kind of where we wanted to put it, in that relative location of the view of Rice Lake and the beautiful countryside that we can see from there. So that answers it or not, sorry.
Well, I have always have had concern as to why we're designing houses that don't fit on the lots when we have an opportunity to do so. I will, as I have always said in the past, I will let the committee make a decision, but that is one of my concerns. Committee members, any other questions? Seeing none, I entertain a motion, please. Bill, please.
Sorry, yep, I'll move for acceptance.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder to that, please? Seconded by Mark Lotion, committee member Mark Lotion. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Carried. If I could turn to the mover and seconder, please, for your reasoning.
Meets the conditions of my variance. I was somewhat concerned about comments made by the neighbor, but that will be cleared up by our building department and by all the other officials before any actual construction started. So I think we have to put our trust in them for that one. So that's why I set that aside. I don't know if Mark has anything else he wants to add.
Please, Mark.
No, I'm fine with what Bill said, and yeah, I find it a minor variance, so minor in nature.
There weren't any objections from any of the governing agencies either, so.
Is that sufficient, Kate?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to our applicants that have been with us today.
Thank you.
Moving on, that is the only two applications that we have. I have new business on my agenda next. However, I have it entered in as none. Has anything materialized since the agenda was prepared?
No, there hasn't.
And the same with other business. I see none. So we're moving as quickly as we can to another meeting. So I would ask for a motion of adjournment and a seconder, please. Moved by Larry, seconded by Bill. And the time that I have is 1:04. Thank you.